full power, not grasping, both grasping and not grasping together with everything, fully, completely. It isn't about yourself. It has to be together with everything. You cannot leave the samsara behind. Cannot keep the samsara. Have to release, relax. For the samsara, not grasping, both grasping and not grasping with everything. And that is when it released, relaxed all together. Everything you cannot leave behind. Release, relax for everything. Together with everything. A lotus in bloom, let go of the blooming. A blooming lotus, let go of the blooming. Blooming out of the blooming, blooming liberated from the blooming itself. Blooming out of the blooming. Let go of the blooming. Everything is from let go of the letting go itself. Let go of both let go and not let go. Not grasping, both grasping and not grasping. You feel that you're still drifting with the not grasping. Step back from grasping and not grasping again, and it will be a true not grasping. Step back from that stepping back again. If you step back from the stepping back, it will be a blooming that let go of the blooming, a true let go of the blooming. You step back from that stepping back. A lotus in bloom, let go of the blooming. Not grasping, step back from grasping and not grasping. And it won't be anything in either grasping or not grasping. If you might, step back from both might and not might, everything. And it won't be anything in either might or not might. That is a true might. A true might has nothing in that might or not might. A true might doesn't have either might or not might. If you stuck with might, step back from might and not might. Might let go of the might itself. Might give up on the might itself. Might not grasping even the might itself. That is to might, both might and not might, and together with everything, so it extinguish all everything at once. Everything. Don't focus. Don't identify one, two things. That is still a delusive attachment habit, desire habit, habit to specify, to focus. Everything open up. Step back from both might and not might. That is to cut both cut and not cut. Might, both might and not might. When you step back from the stepping back. Step back from both step back and not step back. And it's the same, not grasping, both grasping and not grasping. isn't about keeping the mind, keeping seeing, knowing. It isn't about to hold on to the body, mind, on sustain any state. It isn't about anything about anything. It isn't anything toward anything. To cut both cut and not cut, it isn't about anything toward anything. Not grasping both grasping and not grasping, it isn't about identifying with anything. That's why it is the emptiness, the dissolution that cleanses everything. If you're still having something to do with something, it will be messy and troublesome. You still sustain knowing, seeing. If you feel that you're holding, knowing, seeing, step back again. If you are doing the cutting, step back from cut and not cut. Step back from both step back and not step back. If you're not grasping, step back from grasping and not grasping again, and it will be a true not grasping. Everything, step back from the stepping back itself. If you cut, step back from cut and not cut again. Firm and decisive. You might step back from might and not might. Constantly remind yourself, recite this. Step back. Step back and cut the cutting itself. Step back and cut both cut and not cut. Don't have desire. And going forward, step back. Step back and cut both cut and not cut everything. Step back. Step back. Step back and might, both might and not might, all together. So it cut both cut and not cut all together, everything. Don't fixate on knowing, seeing. Don't fixate on anything. Step back. Step back and might, both might and not might. It will cut both cut and not cut. Step back from the stepping back. Step back and cut the cutting itself constantly. Step back and mind the mind itself. If you cut even the cutting, if you don't mind, it won't cut. Don't walk in the walk. Might in the walk. Constantly recite. Might, both might and not might. Remind yourself. This thought cut in itself, so remind yourself constantly. Walk in the way that you cut for everything, not walk in the walk. Might, both might and not might. Constantly recite. It is the thought that cut in itself. Everything. Might, both might and not might. Together with everything. If you cut and enlighten all together, cut and cutting for everything all at once. You feel that you are pushing forward, aiming forward too much. Step back. And might, both might and not might, it will cut the desire that want to go forward. Step back. And might, both might and not might again. With everything. If you feel drifting, floating, step back and might, both might and not might again. Remind yourself. And together with everything. Step back. And might, the might itself. Step back. And might, both might and not might. Together with everything. So it becomes great compassion. To cut and cutting for everything simultaneously. Don't separate things. Once you separate, it becomes trouble.
ใครโกนสีเหรอคุณเล่ประกาศหน่อยดิแว่นแคว้นดินแดนก็มีส่วนในทั่วกันหน่อยมีส่วนในมหาสังฆทานบ้างมีส่วนในไม่เอาแม้กระทั่งตัวไม่เอาเองบ้างมีส่วนในไม่ยึดแม้กระทั่งตัวไม่ยึดเองบ้างนะ
There's a monk offering today. Let all realms of existence everywhere in this world and the samsara be a part of this offering. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Let all realms be a part of not grasping, both grasping and not grasping, of ending, both ending and not ending all together. Right into the essence. Let all realms of existence be a part of not attached, both attached and not attached, not grasping, both grasping and not grasping. Let them be a part of this not grasping, both grasping and not grasping. Release and relax together. Step back and not grasping, both grasping and not grasping, together with everything. Step back and not grasping even the non-grasping itself. Step back and not grasping, both grasping and not grasping, everything.
อยเอาสิ
step back.
อย่าอยู่แค่ตัวดูตัวรู้
Don't stay with knowing, seeing, looking. Step back.
ถอยจากตัวถอยเอง
Step back from the stepping back.
ลูกอย่างนี้ถอยกลับมาไม่มันทั้ง
Step
ไม่
back
ทั้งไม่
and
ไม่
might, both might and not might.
ถอยกลับมาไม่เอา
Step
มันทั้ง
back
เอาทั้ง
and
ไม่
not
เอา
grasping, both grasping and not grasping.
มันไม่ใช่ตัวปฏิบัติ
It isn't about to practice
หน้า
or going forward
มาลูกมัน
toward anything.
ซ้อนมันไล่ตัวใครอยู่ซ้อนมันไล่ตัวใครทรงซ้อน
There is no staying, sustaining, trying, overlaying.
มันไม่ได้พุ่งไปข้างหน้า
It isn't about going forward.
เดินเจริญไปข้างหน้า
It isn't about moving forward toward anything.
ปัจจุบัน
It isn't about being
ซ้อน
in the present
ตัว
either.
ใครอยู่ซ้อน
Dissolve any trying to be
ถอยกลับมาไม่เอา
Step
ไม่
back
ไม่เอาสิ
and not grasping, both grasping and not grasping.
ถอยกลับมาไม่มันทั้ง
Step
ไม่
back
ไม่
and might,
สิ
both might and not might.
มันจะล้างตัวใครอยู่
It will
ซ้อน
dissolve
มันจะ
any
ล้างตัว
trying
วิญญาณไปข้างหน้า
to be, trying to go.
มันจะไม่เป็นภาวะตัณหาไปซะเองไม่เป็นวิ
It
ภาวะ
won't be
ตัณหาไปซะเอง
a desire to go or to stay.
ลูกก็ถอยสิถอยกลับมาไม่เอาไม่กระทั่งตัวไม่เอาเอง
Step back and not
ถอยกลับมาไม่
grasping
กระทั่งตัวไม่เอง
even the non-grasping itself. Step back and might even the might
ไป
itself.
เรื่อย
Constantly step
ๆ
back.
หามันเคยจะออฟไซด์ไงลูก
Desire always pushing forward.
ไม่แช่อะไรในอะไรไปเอง
If you keep stepping back, and it won't be about identifying
ช่
automatically
วยพร้อมกันเหมือนเดิม
and enlighten for everything all the same.
ของลูกนี่ต้องถอยก็อย่างเดียว
For all of you, it has to step back, always step back, because we have a lot of desire to go forward. A desire pushing us forward always.
ถอยตัวถอยเอง
So step back from the stepping back itself.
ถอยกันมาเลยลูก
Step back,
ถอยกลับมา
everything.
ไม่เอาแม้กระทั่งตัวไม่เอาเอง
Not grasping even the non-grasping itself.
ไม่ใช่ไม่เอาอะไรนะ
Not
ถอยกลับมา
about
ไม่
not
เอา
grasping
แม้กระทั่งตัวไม่เอา
anything.
เอง
Step back and not grasping even the non-grasping itself.
นั่นแหละปุตุ้นปุตุ้นเกนตุกเกนตุก
That is it.
ถอยกันมาเลยลูก
Step back
ไม่เอา
again.
แม้กระทั่งตัวไม่เอาเอง
Step back and not grasping even the non-grasping
ให้จิต
itself.
มันไปออฟไซด์อยู่เลย
Whatever with the mind that is still upside, that is still overpassed. If you having something to do with seeing, knowing, that is still an upside and overpassed. So step back and not grasping the non-grasping itself with everything.
ถอยกลับมาไม่ตัวไม่
Step back and mind the mind itself again.
อย่างนี้เรียกว่าสั้นหมดสั้น
That is shorter than short.
เรียกว่าสั้นหมดสั้น
Even the shortness is gone.
ไม่เอาแม้กระทั่งตัวไม่เอา
Not grasping
เอง
even the non-grasping
ไม่เอา
itself.
ล้างตัวไม่เอา
That
เอง
is not grasping, dissolve the not
ไม่
grasping.
เอาเอง
Not grasping, cleanse the not grasping.
ถอยกลับมาไม่ตัว
Step
ไม่
back
เอง
and might
หรือว่า
the might
ไม่
itself.
สลายตัวไม่
That is
เอง
might, dissolve the
ไม่
might
ล้าง
itself.
ตัวไม่เอง
Might, cleanse the might itself.
สั้นหมดสั้นนี่ลูกนะ
That is shorter than short.
มันจะไม่เอาทั้งนอกทั้งในไปเองใน
And it won't be about grasping either inner or outer. That grasping, that overlay will be dissolved. Step back and not grasping, both grasping and not grasping. Step back and not grasping, both grasping and not grasping. Step back and not grasping even the non-grasping itself.
เดี๋ยวมันก็หมดตัวเลือกนอกเลือกใน
And it won't be about choosing either inner or outer.
นอกใน
No
ก็
more
นอกใน
choosing
ไปอย่างนั้นแหละลูกนอกใน
inside
ไม่ใช่การ
or outside.
เอาซ้อนใน
It won't be about grasping
ไม่ใช่การซ้อนใน
on top of
ไม่ใช่การ
inner state or outer state.
ไปอย่างนั้นเองลูกก็ต้องถอย
But you have to
จาก
step
ที่
back.
ไหน
Step back from your habit, your desire.
อยกลับมาไม่เอา
Step back and not grasping both grasping and not grasping.
เกียร์เดินหน้ามันเยอะกว่าเกียร์ถอย
To have
ทั้งสองทวัต
more forward gears than backward.
กดเกียร์ถอยมีอยู่
This samsara have more gears that go forward than backward. That's why it's a lot of trouble in this samsara.
ตัวตัณหาอัพไซด์เยอะ
There are more desire to go forward.
ดังนั้นลูกก็ถอยเยอะๆหน่อยสิ
So
ถอยจากตัวถอยเอง
You have to step back,
ไม่เอาก็ถอยจะเอา
constantly step back,
ทุกอย่าง
not grasping for everything, every matter. Step back and not grasping, both grasping and not grasping. For mind, step back,
ตัวถอยเองนั่นแหละลูก
and mind, the mind itself,
หมดตัวไม่ถอย
and step back from the stepping back. You might step back from both mind and not mind. It will be a true mind, a true mind that has no meaning, and together with everything, to enlighten all together at once. It's not about to enlighten for one or two things, but all together at once. To make it all together at once, you have to use the word everything. You have to think of everything. Step back from the stepping back. Don't know what to say, what to do. Step back from the stepping back. And that is it. All done. Whatever there is, all done. 100, 10,000, 100,000, all done. No matter how many lifetimes. Dissolve all lifetime. Dissolve all Buddha's time. No more Buddha's time. When it is from not grasping, both grasping and not grasping, throughout everything, it dissolves all Buddha's time. Dissolve all lifetimes, all eras, periods. Step back from the stepping back. Don't know what to do, what to say. When you're confused, step back from the stepping back. Don't have to try to think of what to do, what to say. Step back from the stepping back. And desire won't make you confused. If you're confused, in doubt, step back from the stepping back. If it is not grasping, step back from grasping and not grasping. Any sentence that is short and cut in itself, you know, it takes a long time to come up with this kind of sentences. Within one sentence, it contains Dhamma, include the practice and the result of both the wisdom, the practice. It takes many
ไม่ใช่
Buddha's
ประเภท
time.
เอาสติสมาธิเอา
It isn't about mindfulness that hold on to the mindfulness,
เอาญาณปัญญาเอาปัญญา
the wisdom that hold on to the wisdom, something that not grasping, both grasping and not grasping.
มันผ่านมากี่พุทธันดร
It takes a lot of Buddha's time to come up with this kind of sentence, to come up with this kind of conclusion, to come up with this sentence that ends in itself.
แต่ในประโยคเดียวที่มันจบเป็นในประโยคเดียว
So this kind of sentence
ทุกพระองค์ในประโยค
that
เดียว
ends in itself, it's the same as you have a lot of Buddhas within that one sentence. The essence of a lot of Buddhas within that one sentence. That contains the essence of enlightenment for the samsara, the sentence that cuts in itself, that ends in itself. That means every Buddha within that one sentence.
ถ้าไม่รู้กูก็บอกให้รู้
If you haven't known about this before, I'm telling you now. The mindfulness has to cut in itself. The meditation has to cut in itself. The wisdom has to be a wisdom that cut itself. Don't let desire mislead you to try to cut anything. Might has to cut the might itself. Don't let desire trick you trying to cut anything or might anything. Not grasping has to dissolve itself. Not grasping has to not grasping, both grasping and not grasping. Don't let desire mislead you trying to not grasping anything. Renounce. Have to renounce both renounce and not renounce. Don't let desire fool you and try to renounce this or that. Everything is from renounce the renouncing itself. Don't let desire mislead you to try to renounce anything. And in the future, you won't try to make reference to the Buddhist text. You are having desire in that referring, using reference of the Tipitaka. You refer to the Buddha. Trying to use the Buddha's word as reference. But that is desire that making you do that. Trying to refer to the Buddha's word, to the Buddhist text, and try to renounce this and that. That is desire taking you to renounce this and that. It won't come to an end. It won't come to an end. It won't be a renounce. When you not renounce the renouncing itself, it won't be a renouncing. Mind, the mind itself. Don't let desire fool you and try to mind anything. Even the renounce the renouncing itself. Don't try to renounce anything that is desire misleading you. End all path. Renounce is from renounce the renouncing itself. Don't be fooled by desire to renounce anything. It's not a true renouncing. You are fool when you try to renounce anything. If you're not grasping, from not grasping the non-grasping itself, don't be misled by desire. From not grasping the non-grasping itself, everything. Not grasping dissolve the not grasping itself. Nibbana doesn't have either grasping, not grasping. Grasping, not grasping. That is the thoughts, the concept that desire create. So not grasping is not grasping the non-grasping itself. Dissolve the not grasping right away. Don't leave it behind. From not grasping the non-grasping itself, it is the not grasping dissolve the not grasping itself. Don't let it remain. the not grasping.
ทุกอย่าง
Everything.
อย่าทีละอย่างสองอย่าง
Don't focus one or two things at a time.
ทีละอย่างสองอย่างเรียกอุปทานตัณหาจำแนกแยก
One or two things
เพราะว่า
is still about separation, identifying by desire.
ไปมัวแต่อย่างนั้นอย่างนี้ไปกันซะเองไอ้ทุกอย่างมันก็ทุกอย่างอยู่แล้วตลอดเวลา
It is always everything.
ตัณหาอุปทานมันก็ไปขมวด
Only attachment and desire make you specifying,
ทุกอย่างสิ
identifying. So everything.
เพราะทุกอย่างมันก็ทุกอย่างอยู่แล้วไงลูก
It is everything as it is.
อย่างนั้นอย่างนี้ไปเองตัณหาเบ็ดเตล็ดอุปทานเบ็ดเตล็ด
It is desire and attachment that separate, that identify.
นั้นทุกอย่างก็อยากไม่เอาตัวไม่เอาเอง
So everything
อยากไม่เอา
from not grasping,
ไม่เอาเอง
even the non-grasping itself, not grasping dissolve the not grasping, not grasping cleanse the not grasping.
ประโยคเดียวเนี่ยมันเป็นทั้งปริยัติปฏิบัติ
One sentence. It is everything in that one sentence.
แล้วก็ประโยคเดียวนี่แหละที่มันจบหมดทั้งปริยัติปฏิบัติปฏิเวท
And that one sentence ends all knowledge of Dhamma, the practice of Dhamma, and the attainment of Dhamma.
นึกขึ้นมาตอนไหนก็
Anytime you think of it, it ends.
เรียกว่าฉับพลันในการตรัสรู้ช่วยฉับพลันในการจบช่วย
It's sudden
ฉับพลันในการยุติช่วย
to end for everything, to release, relax for everything.
ตอนไหนก็ฉับพลัน
Whatever
ใน
it
ตอนนั้น
happens in that instance, the great compassion in an instance.
อยากไม่ตัวไม่เอง
From
อย่าไปไม่อะไร
the mind itself, don't try to mind anything, don't try to
เห็นว่า
cut
อยากไม่ยึดตัว
anything.
ไม่ยึดเองนี่แหละอย่า
Not
ไปไม่ยึด
attached
อะไร
is from not attached to non-attachment itself.
อย่าให้
Don't
ตัณหา
try
มัน
to
เสี้ยม
not
มันหลอก
attach
ไม่ยึดอะไร
from anything. Don't be misled by desire, trying to detach from things.
ไม่เอาลูกก็
Not
ไม่เอาตัวไม่
grasping,
เอาเองเลย
from
อย่า
not
ปล่อย
grasping
ให้
the
ตัณหา
non-grasping
มันหลอก
itself. Don't be fooled by desire, trying not grasping to this or that.
ทุกอย่าง
Everything.
ไม่ใช่เรื่องส่วนตัวแล้วก็ไม่
It
ใช่เรื่อง
isn't
ส่วนรวม
about personal matter,
อันนี้มันส
and
ลาย
it
หมดทั้ง
isn't
ส่วนตัวและส่วนรวม
the public's matter either. It dissolves both personal and public's. It's not about personal or public's matter. It dissolves both personal and public's matter.
If
renounced, from renounce the renouncing itself, don't be fooled by desire, trying to renounce anything, renounce body, mind, emotion, feeling, knowing, seeing. You are misled by desire. Trying to renounce, that is still a desire in that trying. It is still not a true renounce yet. The true renounce is when it renounces the renouncing itself. Trying to renounce, that isn't a true renounce yet. You still misled by desire, fooled by desire. It is desire that creates that trying to renounce. If you renounce from the renouncing itself, that is a true renouncing. Renounce the renouncing itself. Renounce, dissolve the renouncing.
ตัวปฏิบัติตัวเจริญไป
It
ข้างหน้า
isn't
แล้วมันก็
about
ไม่ใช่ตัวดำรงทรงอยู่กับที่
practicing to attain anything in the future, and it isn't about sustaining or keeping the status either. It dissolves both present and the future, not grasping the non-grasping itself.
มันไม่จัดว่าเป็นเพราะเป็นภูมิจากไม่เอามันทั้งเอา
From not grasping both, grasping, not grasping, everything.
พร้อมกันเลยทุกอย่าง
Together with everything.
ก็บอกแล้วว่ามัน
I have said it before, it isn't about personal or public matter.
นี่มันสลายตัวสลายเองล้าง
It dissolves the dissolving, cleanse the cleansing.
ถอยลูกก็ถอย
You step back from the stepping
ถอย
back.
จากอะไร
Don't try to step back from anything. Step back from the stepping back.
สังสารวัฏมันก็ไม่เป็นสังสารวัฏแล้วลูก
And the samsara won't be samsara anymore.
เรียกว่าไม่เป็นมันทั้งเป็นทั้งไม่เป็น
Not being, either being or not being.
ประโยคเดียวที่มันต้อง
This
นิพ
is
พานกันในประโยคเดียวเนี่ยประโยคเดียวที่มัน
one
นิพพานกันในประโยค
sentence
เดียว
that is nibbana in itself, in that one sentence.
อย่าปล่อยให้ตัณหามันเสี่ยม
Don't
ไปนิพพานนั่นไปนิพพานนี่
Be misled by desire, trying to attain nibbana this way, that way, this path, that path,
เสียกระสนทุรนทุราย
struggle, seeking, searching,
มัวแต่เพื่อ
always
หาเสี่ยมดิ
looking for something that is misleading of desire.
ละลูกก็จากละตัวละ
If renounce,
เองเลยทุกอย่าง
renounce the renouncing itself, everything.
อย่าปล่อยให้ตัณหา
Don't
เสียกระสนไปคอยละอะไร
Let desire fool you to try to renounce
อย่างนี้
anything.
เรียกว่าจบตัวจบ
That
เอง
is
ลูก
to end the ending itself, stop the stopping itself, to cut even the cutting itself.